Well, I don't mind telling people that I'm 73 years old. I'm proud to be 73. And I have learned so much, since I've been doing this work, like I said, for about 15 years. And it's something that when people, they meet me, they go, "You're 73?" I said, "Yeah, but it's the joy." And this is what I pray for every one of my clients, that they can reach the point where they can really enjoy their lives. No matter what's going on, they can enjoy their lives. Yeah.
Welcome to the Healthy Reasonings podcast with Dr. Andre. You are now listening to your number one source for clear, unfiltered conversations about your health and wellness. Join us every Tuesday for success stories, educational topics, and interviews with wellness experts from around the world. You can listen to this podcast on your computer, phone, or any other electronic device that streams podcasts, or download each episode and listen to it on the go. Let's get started with today's episode.
Good day to all our healthy reasoners. And before I go on, I'd like to say, first of all, happy Independence Day to Jamaica. It is August the 6th and it's Independence Day. So for all our Jamaican healthy reasoners, I know you're celebrating today for many different reasons, but we are going to celebrate specifically because of the day. It is Independence Day. And today is even more special because, believe it or not, we have a special guest with us today. And it's somebody who I'm pretty happy to announce is the first guest on our Healthy Reasonings podcast, because this is somebody who has been very special to me and to so many of my clients at the office. I am going to hide her name for the minute, but for now, you hear her laughing in the background. And for now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. This lady is what I commonly refer to as my secret weapon. She is somebody who, like me, has been on this journey to helping people back to health and wellness for several years. Both of us are on a journey that we initially didn't realize we were on. But now here we are. We have this track record of patients who have had miraculous turnarounds. And we don't know how to explain it other than to say that it was God. We are both Christians, we're believers. And I think we're going to have a blast today as I introduce to you none other than Dee Whitaker. Yay! Hopefully I can get a sound effect. some applause there. Get some applause going. So hopefully I can get that in. Dee Whitaker, you're here.
I'm here. Present and accounted for.
Present and accounted for. And Dee is a very special lady. She is what we call an emotional wellness coach. You've heard me say so many times how critical the emotions are for healing of chronic diseases and specifically for cancer. And this young lady is fully aware of this. In fact, full disclosure, we met because I understood the importance of my own emotional wellness. And so we spent some time with her teaching me a lot of the principles that, well, there's no way she's going to get through all of her wealth of knowledge today. She's probably just going to scratch the surface. And we'll probably bring her back for a part 2. But nonetheless, we met when I was in need of some emotional wellness coaching myself. And I've never looked back. It has been a game changer in my life. I think that I've spoken too much already, so I'm thinking it's about time to bring this lovely lady in. And so, Dee Whitaker, I'm going to ask you, first of all, where on earth are you located?
Well, I am in the United States in North Carolina, which is right above South Carolina. North Carolina, are you up north? No, I'm still in the South. And below South Carolina, of course, is Georgia, then Florida. So I'm still considered a Southerner. You might pick up a little bit of my accent.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll hear me chuckle and you'll hear me laugh, because one thing that I have learned through the many, many years, Andre was very kind when he said, I've been doing this a few years. I have been doing this many, many years. Uh, is that you can have joy in any circumstance.
Nice.
And that is what I promote. That is what I help my clients with their mental health, with their emotional health. And I do this with a set of tools, strategies that allow the mind to become very, very still. As it says in the word, it talks about a sound mind. It talks about a peaceful mind. And that's, believe it or not, we can get to that point because of the way God designed us. He designed us in a way that we are not left stranded here with emotions. People tell me all the time, if only I could control my emotions, Dee, if only I could just let them go. Why am I angry all the time? Why am I sad all the time? Well, here's the good news, folks. We have a way of doing that.
Yeah.
God didn't leave us stranded here. And that's what I work with. I first show my clients a couple of techniques that I use and show them that no matter what they come here with, whether it's, they're hung up on anger or sadness or trauma in their background, or they have some type of illness like cancer, that they can still live a full life. And they can still live a life with emotions that come and go, ebb and flow. They don't have to sit there with these emotions stuffed in their body because they don't know how to regulate them and then release them. Yes, I did say release, folks.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. She went there.
I did say release. It's not, well, let me have a drink or two tonight when I get home and that'll make me all mellow. Well, guess what? When we do things like that, drink, whatever your drug of choice is, our emotions still stay stuck in our body. They're not going anywhere. They have to be regulated by the mind. And here's the good news. Stress cannot live in a calm body.
Ooh. Say that one more time, my friend.
Stress cannot live in a calm body. What creates a calm body? A calm mind. So let's talk about the mind for just a moment. When we have a part of our mind called the amygdala, and it is some people call it the fight flight center. Some people call it, it's the controller of everything I think and say, but it can be calmed down. It can get to the point where you're living your life free. You're not controlled by your emotions. You're not controlled by your thoughts. You're not controlled by the pain in your body that your thoughts and emotions are bringing to you, because there's tension in your body, and you might have a shoulder ache or you might have a knee problem. Now, I'm not saying this is surgery, but what I'm saying is a lot of the physical pain that we hold in our body that is not related to any medical condition is just stress in our body caused by our thoughts and our emotions. And so I work a lot of times with people that have pain in their body. And when we do this work and their mind gets calm, when the mind calms down, the body calms down. And then you're able to release that emotion. And that's how it works.
So I mean, I'm going to pretend that I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay.
Because we have a little inside joke, and you've alluded to it a little bit. And that inside joke is most people aren't even aware that emotions can be released.
That's right.
And so from time to time, you and I will laugh at, we're not laughing at the person, of course, but we're laughing at the looks, the kind of deer in the headlight look that they have when they realize, oh my goodness, I don't feel that negative emotion anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's always like this shocked feeling, like whoa, what just happened? Can you just describe for a little bit the technique that you use to help people to release their emotions?
Yeah. What the way that we are literally designed. I mean, God did not leave us stranded here with emotions. Um, you know, people can use things like deep breathing, you know, meditation, Christian meditation. But I have found that
Oh, let me interrupt you there. You don't have to say Christian under your breath. It's okay. Christian meditation. We're okay with it. I mean, well,
okay,
if you're not okay with it, you can listen to a different podcast. I'm
and
not being,
that's what that's what people are teaching now.
yeah,
Two questions, let's do some deep breathing,
yeah,
let's meditate or contemplate, on a scripture in the Bible. But I got to tell you, folks, there's another way.
yeah.
It's another way. I work with people all over the world with everything from cancer to autoimmune to trauma.
Hmm.
Uh, and or they might just have maybe constant headaches or constant stomach ache, and the doctors are saying, I don't know what's wrong.
Hmm.
And when we do this work, it's basically activating certain points in our upper body
Hmm.
where it sends a calming signal to the brain to calm down. Basically,
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah.
That's how divinely designed we are, folks. God has created, I mean, he thought of everything. He's created a way for us to not only find peace and calmness,
Hmm.
but to release these tormenting emotions that
Yeah.
can come up at any time. Usually at the worst time is when they show up. At the worst time, and just live our life in peace. So that's what I'm here to promote, is you don't have to suffer anymore.
Yeah.
So I work with different techniques that help you do that. I teach them to you. Now, let's just say it's trauma, or it's something that is hard for you to even talk about. There is a way that we can work together without you giving me hardly any information. This is not talk therapy.
Hmm.
We're not just going to talk about it
Hmm.
like a therapist does. That's their job. My
She
job,
went there. She went there.
my job is to get the little bit of information that I need and then work with you to release your emotions and calm your mind.
Hmm.
It's totally different. And sometimes people want to tell me their whole life story. And I'll say, I can listen to that, but I don't need all of that to do the work with you.
Yeah.
But people are used to just talking and talking and talking. But
Yeah.
a lot of people will tell you that when you talk about it, sometimes it just gets worse.
Yeah. Yeah. So these techniques are, I think, healthy reasoners will probably understand the term tapping, because that's how it's marketed largely in the holistic space. But I think you offer something that's distinct from just tapping, don't you?
Well, it's a combination of
Yeah.
things I do. Um, I can tell you with the techniques that I use now, it literally changed my life.
Yeah.
And that really got my attention because when I went through and I'm certified in many things, but going through some of the certifications is what opened me up to God's healing.
Hmm.
Is when I could let go of the emotions, let go of, the concept or the limiting beliefs, that I'm not enough or I'm not worthy or I'm not loved.
Yeah.
And so it's just years and years of me learning and working with my clients and watching the healing, and that I feel very, very blessed to be where I am and work with such beautiful people all over the world.
Today's episode of the Healthy Reasonings podcast is brought to you by
Teshuva Wellness.
the team at Teshuva Wellness is committed to helping you return to your best self. With safe, non-toxic, scientifically proven medical treatments, they help your body heal from life's most difficult diseases. A team of medical professionals is ready to walk with you on your journey back to wellness. Visit their website today at teshuvawellnessja.com or call 1-876-787-8197. That's 1-876-787-8197. Teshuva Wellness. Return to your best self. Now back to today's episode.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed those commercials. Every single part of the Healthy Reasonings podcast is exciting and great listening, and I'm sure you'll agree. I was listening to a lovely lady by the name of Dee Whitaker, and I'm sure you're probably upset with me because we had to interrupt her at a very crucial point. Of course, I've known her for years, and I know that she's being super modest, as we both tend to be. It's really hard for us to talk about ourselves and our successes, except when we're boasting about how healthy a patient has become, because I think that's what motivates us both, helping our patients get back to their best self. You see what I did there? Teshuva Wellness. Oh
There
my
you go.
goodness.
There you go.
But Dee, you made a statement, not to me, funnily enough, but to one of my patients that really changed her life. And because we are both pretty confidential about what our clients discuss with us, I had to hear it back from her rather than necessarily hearing it from you, which is the way it should be.
Mhm.
But you spoke about, you use a technique called the Christian Enneagram,
Mhm.
and we're segueing into talking about that, but you described it in a very special way.
Mhm.
You said that you help people to realize what their superpower is,
That's right.
but also what their kryptonite is.
That's right.
And that is one of the best explanations I've heard in centuries.
Well, let's talk about personalities. I for the longest time always wondered why I thought the way I did, acted the way I did,
Hmm.
and believed what I did. And I kept thinking, surely there's something more than just the Myers-Briggs. And the difference between certain personality types like the Myers-Briggs or the DISC and the Enneagram is that it will tell you, this is who you are, this is why you think the way you do, but it doesn't give you a path to growth.
Yeah.
It doesn't tell you what your defense mechanism is. It
Right.
doesn't tell me what you're longing for. It doesn't tell me what you run away from,
Hmm.
And so when I work with someone, really the first thing I do is type them and and let them know. I'll give you an example. For example, in Jamaica, there are a lot of people
Ooh, oh boy. Go for it. Go for it.
in Jamaica, there are a lot of helpers. Helpers are people, they're beautiful people. God has created them with a big, beautiful heart. But what happens with helpers is often they can sense when someone else needs, something from them. Even if the other person doesn't even realize that they need something, the helper can sense it.
Oh.
So often they get so caught up in helping other people that they don't take good care of themselves.
Hmm.
And the first thing that I have to do when I work with a client that is ill, has some type of illness, cancer, autoimmune, is explain to them what their personality is, why they do what they do. And the good news is here's the road on how to get healthy, where you can still help people, but you also help yourself.
Okay. So that is more powerful than you probably realize, because I've spent the last couple of episodes emphasizing that point for physical healing, the need for something that we call metabolic typing, as featured in the Gonzalez protocol, the need to be able to start each patient off with understanding their metabolic type and using that to guide the body back to wellness. So once you talk about typing the patients immediately, I get excited because I'm realizing that this is not a one size fits all. This is not, like you said, talk therapy. It's not just, well, I have a program that I've developed and it's going to have to fit everybody because I don't have anything else.
Right.
But what you're saying is you start off by understanding this person's Enneagram type. Am I right?
Well, yeah, we type, I type them, and then I just give them a short profile. And they're just sitting there going either, how in the world did you know from a piece of paper my personality type? Or the other one is, wow, I never knew that.
Oh, wow.
I can tell you the number of twos that I have worked with over the years that have cancer,
Hmm.
and they just kind of just sit there with their mouth open when I explain to them why they always ran themselves ragged
Hmm.
and didn't even know why they did it.
Oh, wow.
They don't even know that this is something innate in them. God created them with a big, beautiful heart. But because a type 2, the helper, feels so good helping others, that's
Hmm.
where they feel the love. They're all about, the need to be needed, and I love helping people, and it feels so good. Then they just kind of put themselves on the back burner and start helping and helping and helping, and then they burn out.
Oh, man.
Hmm.
And I want to just rub that in a little bit more for our Jamaican listeners, particularly our Jamaican women, because it's a conversation that needs to be had. And we promise on this podcast to give you the clear, unfiltered truth about your health and wellness. So we're taking the filter off here, and we're listening to someone who clearly is not from Jamaica. She said she's from North Carolina.
Hmm.
And I'm probably going to get in trouble with her, but I'm going to guess that she doesn't really know many Jamaican, or didn't really know many Jamaicans before she met me.
No, that's
so,
true.
so, so I'd like to think that her opinion is pretty objective, pretty unbiased. And you just heard her say that the majority of the patients I refer to her for help with chronic illness, while I help them physically, she's helping them with their emotional work. And she just said that the majority of the Jamaican women, if not all, are type 2. Now, I know we haven't been, I deliberately didn't want this conversation to be like a lecture or a textbook or a classroom setting, but we didn't say how many types there are in this Enneagram. So we need to understand the magnitude of what almost everyone I've referred to her being a type 2 means. So how many types are there?
There are actually 9 different personality types, and I can just go through them real quick.
Go ahead.
But I'm just going to give you the title. The first one is the type 1. They are the reformer. These are the people that have to get it right.
Hmm.
They are, they stand up for, for goodness. They stand up for value, and they work very, very hard. And they usually go from one thing to the next thing. And this is something that I wanted to mention too. They have a very critical inner voice. I do a lot of inner voice work.
Hmm.
It's either called self-talk or inner voice. If you hear this voice inside your head that is not kind to you,
Hmm. Hmm.
there's a way that we can overcome that. We are overcomers, folks, and
Yeah.
we overcome that critical voice. We can literally change it.
Hmm.
That's the really good news, because a lot of people come to me, the ones come to me and the twos, with this critical voice. And they say, it just runs me ragged and I have to do what it says. I said, well, not anymore.
Mm.
Don't have to do it anymore. So the 2 is the helper. The 3 is the achiever. These are the people that can run circles around most of us because they have tremendous energy. You give them a task, you don't even have to check on them. It's done. It's done. So their whole concept of being professional and being successful is I get to see how many things I can do in one day. The next one is the type 4, which is the artist. They are the ones with the deep, deep emotions. They're the creatives in the world. The next one is type 5, and the type 5 is they have a very unique mind. They're really, they can achieve genius status. Albert Einstein, for example, was a type 5.
Mm.
And they can take they love complex situations and they love to dive into those and figure it out. And they make it easier for other people to understand. The 6th is I call them the Indian Scout because they would be great back in the old Western days, of
Mm.
looking for danger. They're always looking in their environment ahead of time. What is out there that can be harmful? The
Mm.
7, I'm a 7. 7s have a lot of joy. 7s see the world in a whole different way. And what I love about my personality is when I coach, God shows me all the possibilities of my client right off the bat. All the
Wow.
possibilities of where they can go, how they can heal, and I work toward that. The next one is the 8. These are the these are the leaders of the world. They also have they're intense people. So you probably know some 8s. Just walking across a room can be intense. They can use so much intense movement, just
Mm.
just moving from one place to another. It's incredible. Um, they like to banter. They like a conflict. They're the only personality type that likes conflict, and it's a challenge to them. And like I said, you folks probably know some 8s. And the
Mm.
last is the 9. The 9s are the peacemakers. They're the mediators of the world, and they're beautiful people.
Mm.
And that's the different types.
So I think what would be really cool, Dee already told you which of the 9 types she is. You guys have been listening to me for several episodes now. And I think down in the comments somewhere, I'm going to challenge you to guess what Enneagram type your favorite Healthy Reasoner podcast show host is. What Enneagram type do you think I am? Leave it in the comments. In fact, I think I might do a little poll. Let's see if I can get a poll with 9 possibilities. And I want everybody to guess, what type am I? Now, so I wanted to I'm just going to stay on that last point just a few more minutes, and then we probably have to take another ad break or something. But anyway, so you're saying, Dee, that of the 9 types
Mm-hmm.
that could possibly be referred to you, because you don't know who I'm going to refer, and you just know that I've sent this person to you for help because that's
Right.
a part of the work that I think they need to do.
Right.
But somehow you seem to be playing a game of, well, I don't gamble, but there's whatever it is. You're playing a game of gambling, whatever those gambling games are called. And you're coming up with the same number every time. That's not very likely. So how do you explain the fact that so many of our Jamaican women that I refer to you are type 2? What do you think is going on?
That's a very good question. I think it's history and culture.
Hmm.
Jamaica is it's a beautiful island, beautiful people. And I think that especially the women have been raised by their mom, who was raised by their mom, who was
Oh,
raised
wow.
by their mom. We're talking generations here to be the main source of help. They have to be strong. They have to do the work. They have to get up before anybody else gets up to get the kids ready and to go to school and maybe go to work. It's more of a culture. Now let's compare Jamaica to the US. Okay. There are still helpers here. You know, the world needs helpers because they're the doctors, they're the nurses, they're the paramedics, the firemen. They are people that have this burning desire to help others and don't feel fulfilled unless they do. So we need the helpers in the world.
Yes.
But here in the States, I run into the same thing because it might be that, well, my mother was a helper and her mother was a helper.
So it's modeled, basically. It's modeled behavior.
That's right. Modeled behavior. And it's a mindset. We're not going to be able to get into mindsets today, but it's a mindset of this is what I have to do. Well, you can still do it and live your life and be healthy and be happy. And that's what I teach. And I try to help people understand this is where you are now. Let's look at where you can go and grow so you can be, you can be your best self. Yeah.
Oh, nice. She did it.
Yeah.
Did you hear that, guys? She said best self.
Best self. One thing too, I want to explain. I am a Christian coach and I use the Christian concept of profiling, personality profiling. So we can also get into, if you'd like, we can also show you what scriptures really resonate for your personality type. What type of prayers resonate with you? What is your, what would meditation, Christian meditation look like for you, or contemplation? There's a lot of things that I can show you where you can actually get closer to the Lord by following your personality type of, opening yourself up to God. Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to take a quick 15-second break again. And when we come back, Dee is going to tell us a little bit about her favorite success story. And then we're going to wrap it up. I think we're going to have to bring her back for a part 2 for sure. Maybe a part 3 and 4. Hey, let's bring her back for 9 episodes. Since All right, a quick break. We'll be right back.
Healthy Reasoners. Remember to subscribe to this podcast so you can be updated as soon as new episodes are ready. Also, if you have a question, send us a voice memo on Spotify or type your questions out in the comments. Now back to today's episode.
And we're back. I hope you enjoyed that little tidbit of information. We try our best to give you, even our commercials on the Healthy Reasonings podcast are helpful to you. And we have a lovely lady here with us. Dee, I am going to put you on the spot here because I know you like that. So we have a little joke every year as you add another year to your life. And so I'm not supposed to ask ladies their age, but I can ask this lady her age. Mm-hmm. And you can either tell them the real age or the age that you like to tell people. Go first.
Well, I don't mind telling people that I'm 73 years old.
Wow.
And that I'm proud to be 73. And I have learned so much, since I've been doing this work, like I said, for about 15 years. And it's something that when people, they meet me, they go, "You're 73?" I said, "Yeah," but it's the joy. And this is what I pray for every one of my clients, that they can, they can reach the point where they can really enjoy their lives. No matter what's going on, they can enjoy their lives. Yeah.
That's amazing. And you told me that sometimes you'll tell people, because you guys can't see her. We're going to go to video in a couple of episodes, not this one. But if you could see her, you'd see why it's hard to believe that she's 73. But you do a little trick with your age to make it even more funny. Tell me what reminds me.
Well, I was teasing Andre. I said, this year I think I'm going to tell people I'm 83. So when they look at me and they think I'm 83, they're going to say, wow, you really great.
Yeah, but Dee is a very youthful. She's always glowing. So hopefully, well, you guys, I'm sure several of you are going to get in touch with her, having listened to this lovely episode, and you'll see for yourself. For now, you're gonna have to take my word for it, and Nisha's word for it. My wife, she's always saying, "Dee, you look so lovely." Oh wow, that was a horrible voice. Dee, you look so lovely. Oh, that was even worse. Oh man. All right, we're gonna chat too much. Your favorite story of a patient's success.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is, they're obviously all my clients are near and dear to my heart,
Right.
but I have some that really that remember for 15 years. I mean, and it's usually a type of person that is a hard charger,
Yeah.
someone that just doesn't know the word stop.
Yeah.
They get up in the morning and they go, go, go. And this could be a 2, it could be a 1, it could be an 8, it could be a 6. These are the people that have this mind that keeps a list of everything they have to do today, and they have to do it all. They can't rest, and when they try to rest, their mind comes back and says, "Oh, wait a minute, you haven't finished for the day." So one of the particular clients that I worked with, type 1, I love the challenge of type 1s because they are very hard-driven people. They're usually successful. They're strong, and I've worked with quite a few that have cancer. And what I see in type 1 is, okay, I have cancer, but I'm going to keep doing everything that I'm doing. That's what they tell me. I said, so you mean to tell me you're going to work like 12 hours a day? You're going to eat when you can instead of when you should. You're not going to take any time for fun or enjoyment. You're just going to work. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm going to do.
Oh, wow.
And so I have to teach them, first of all, how important it is to, the thing about emotions is, so type 1s, what they do is it's called reaction formation. And I'm sure people like this. They might be suffering with something. And if you asked them, hey, Susie, how you doing? Oh, I'm fine.
Oh, yeah.
And they're not fine, but they take that emotion and those thoughts and they just shove them down in the body.
Oh, yeah.
Shove them down. And so what I teach these people is that this is the time, there's an old saying, cancer is a tap on the shoulder from God. And this is the time that God wants to get their attention, wants them to change, wants them to be healthy. And so I use some techniques to help them. It's not like I have to drag them kicking and screaming, but I help them change their way they look at themselves and what's important to them, what should be important to them. And this work ethic never goes away, but they become more valuable to themselves. Their body becomes more valuable. Their mind becomes more valuable. Where they can see, okay, I've been doing this way too long. I need to, just start enjoying my life. And I'm real good at teaching people how to do that.
because you enjoy yours so much.
And just, for example, type 1s, they love nature. They come alive in nature. Just even going for a long walk, I tell them, that will perk you up more than maybe some other personality types. So I tell them, this is what your body needs. Get out and walk, sit in the sun, or sit in the shade. And it's just things like that I have taught these people over the years. So one lady that I'm thinking of, she was a hard charger. Boy, she was like, okay, all right, well, the first thing I have to do is stop smoking. I said, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. She said, well, that's going to be impossible.
Oh, wow.
And I said, well, let's just say that's your opinion. Because you've been telling yourself all these years that you need the cigarette.
Oh, wow.
So through some of the work that I do, it took some time. but they finally just stopped smoking. They didn't need it anymore. They changed their habits of when they smoked or why they smoked. And that was a big step for them. They felt free. They felt free.
And I'm guessing she had cancer, right?
Yeah, she had cancer.
So probably it's not the best idea to still be smoking.
And then, then we work on, well, a lot of people that are busy all the time, they don't eat good nutrition.
Yeah.
They're just eat whatever's around and just go on to the next thing.
Yeah.
So, but the way I do it is I help them calm down their mind, which is the inner voice, which is telling them, you still have all this work to do. You can't stop. Once their mind starts calming down, it's like they see so clearly now what they've been missing all their life, which is to enjoy.
Yeah.
You can still work, you can still do these things, but let's throw some fun in there and let's be good to your body and your mind. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. I've never thought that listening to a nice educational podcast, especially one that's as fun as this one always is, could ever be boring. But just in the unlikely events that our listeners have reached their destination, because I know a lot of people tell me that they listen to this podcast on their way to and from work in the days, I think it might be a good idea for us to pause. And we are going to have you back another 8 times so we can tackle each Enneagram type. I'm kidding. Well, who knows? But
well, we talked about the type 1 today.
We did.
Yeah.
So before we go, I think, if it were up to me, British pronunciation, British grammar, if it were up to me, I would send all of my patients across the world to Dee Whitaker. Would I have to send them to North Carolina, or how do you work with them?
Well, no, they don't have to come to North Carolina. And I have clients that are close, so if they want to come to my office, they can.
Yeah.
But most of my work is, Zoom, WhatsApp, phone, any way that, the person's comfortable with, we could work together. But, I work with people all over the world. And really, since COVID, that's kind of what put everything into gear. People were oriented to, calling someone on Zoom that's halfway across the world and not even think about it anymore.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's pretty much where the majority of my work is through Zoom or phone. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And how do you want people to contact you? Because
yeah.
Go ahead. I feel like at the end of this podcast, you're going to have to hire a secretary or, like a team of people, those call centers, manning all the phones, because you're going to be getting a ton of phone calls, right? Healthy Reasoners? Yes, that's right. Go ahead.
Well, if you'd like to call me, and, we can certainly have a chat so I can tell you more about what I do. The best way to reach me right now is just to call me. My website, I'm working on, I'm doing so many things that I'm working on revising my website. So you can just call me. My number is 919-622-5183.
Okay, so you heard it from the great one herself, the greatest of all times, Dee Whitaker. If you want to reach out to her, you know exactly what to do, Healthy Reasoners. Dee, it has been an absolute pleasure as always. And I am so honored to know that you have been our first guest on what is likely to be a legacy of podcast episodes for people to listen to for centuries to come.
There you go. That's right. They can live forever, can't they?
Exactly. We'll send a few copies to the moon and to Mars and wherever else these guys are going for space colonies. Oh my goodness. I really need to stop cracking myself up. So, thank you so much, Dee, for joining us. And thank you to the Healthy Reasoners for listening. You know how to get in touch with us. If you have questions, comments, just drop them in there's a comment section below. There is going to be a poll And for those of you who listened through all the way to the end, I would like to say that there is going to be a special prize as well. I'm going to award it to somebody who drops a comment in the Spotify section below. And it is a prize from Teshuva Wellness. It is actually 10% off standard video consultation from anywhere in the world. And Teshuva Wellness will have the details on that, but it will be awarded to somebody who drops a comment below. And it's not going to last long. We are going to keep that comment section competition open for just 7 days. So today is August 6th, so you know what that means. So hurry up and drop your comments below. Remember to take the poll, guessing which Enneagram type I am, and we will see you next week, Tuesday, for another episode of the Healthy Reasonings Podcast. Love you all.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Healthy Reasonings Podcast. Remember to subscribe to this podcast so you can be updated as soon as new episodes are ready. If you have a question, send us a voice memo on Spotify or type your questions out in the comments. For more information or to become a sponsor, please check the show notes for our contact information. See you soon.